Welcome back to the pod. And if you are a photographer, you are in the right place, especially if you are a portrait or a wedding photographer. So I'm so excited to be bringing this episode to you because you'll get to have a peek into my past clients' thought on their actual experience with me. I interviewed 4 of my past clients, which are specifically only wedding clients because that's what I specialize in. And in this episode, you'll hear about what parts of the experience with me that they loved so that it can help inspire you to create the best possible experience for your clients. So while I was also having these chats with them, I also asked them to share with me their favorite and also their least favorite photos that I delivered to them from their wedding day. But that you will find out in the upcoming intuitive storytelling course that I'm putting together specifically for wedding photographers. That's actually cool. For wedding photographers, which is launching the first week of August 2021, where you will learn from me things like how to create strong and authentic storytelling photos, how to be at the right place at the right time so you don't miss any important or key moments, how to prepare for storytelling success, and the biggest and most freaking exciting part, you'll actually get to virtually shadow me on a wedding day and feel like you are right there by my side as I teach you everything you need to know on how to storytell like a pro. Because I know that you are struggling with things like this. Number 1, feeling terrified of missing key moments on wedding days. Number 2, feeling worried about being in the way too much. Number 3, all the different lighting scenarios that are out of your control that make you feel super anxious. Number 4, feeling frustrated that people don't seem to trust you and keep staring down your camera lens, right? Number 5, feeling the pressure to make things look absolutely Pinterest perfect. And number 6, feeling confused on how to balance creating beautiful imagery while also capturing authentic moments and emotion. All these reasons are exactly why I created this course for you, to help you get unstuck so that you can say bye to all those fears and also know what to do to become a confident and fearless wedding day storyteller, while in the meantime, creating really, really meaningful experiences for your couples and their family and friends. So if you're listening to this and thinking, oh my God, Sara, this is exactly what I need, I'm so excited, then make sure to do this one thing before tuning into the rest of the episode, okay? So listen to this. The week the intuitive storytelling course comes out, there will be a special early bird price that you won't want to miss. So make sure to get on the wait list to be the first to know so you don't miss that early bird price. So just go to saramonika.com/storytelling and that's it. Sign up and you'll be the first to know and you won't miss that early bird price. In the meantime, just so you know, the only other emails you'll get from me will be the weekly emails about the newest podcast episode that is out. So I promise I don't spam because I hate that shit and ain't nobody got time for that, right? But for now, enjoy hearing from my clients from their perspective on what they valued throughout their wedding photography experience with me so that you can up-level the experience you create for your clients. When I first started my wedding photography business back in 2011, I made just $5,000 in my business. Now, I bring in multiple 6 figures per year while working only 30-hour weeks serving my dream couples. I'm here to help you discover that it's so possible to have what you want when you want in your business so that you can create the life you've always dreamed of and deserve. All right, so first up, I'll be chatting with Katie and Britney, and they got married on August 3rd in 2019 on Musselman's Lake. They rented out an Airbnb, and they basically got married on the grass area by the lake at the Airbnb and had a tented reception. It was epic. Enjoy.
For me, I think it was like your ease. You connected with everyone that was important to us, like right off the hop. So it wasn't like that awkward, the photographer's here and she's going to take some photos. It was like you were a guest at our wedding and you just happened to have 300 cameras strapped to you. So like you did the whole day and evening with ease. Like it was just one thing that we didn't even have to think about. it was something that you just did with grace and interacted with everyone that we knew. Like by the end of it, I think he was, even my brother, he was like, how did we know her? Like, how did she get invited? Like, because we were so already a part of the team that it was just natural.
I love that. Yeah. Whenever the guests or family or friends ask me like, so how do you know Katie and Britney? I'm like, oh, I don't. They hired me. And they're like, what?
Yeah.
It's like the best compliment because I'm like, yep, I'm doing my job right.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I feel like I would say something very similar. Like, I felt like you fit in so easily. There was no judgment when like some weird things happen or weird conversations were going down that I won't repeat because this is getting filmed. But there were some situations that I feel like, you just laughed it off with us. It never felt like there was like, ooh, that happened, or ooh, like it just was so easy. And I think all the questions, like I hadn't really thought too much about like, are there specific pictures that we want? Are there specific people that we really want to have pictures taken with? So I think even though we had a small wedding with 50 people, I think even asking us those questions ahead of time, like, are there any special relationships I should focus on? I think gave us the time to think of things that like we wouldn't have thought of, that ensured that we did get those really special pictures that, like with Britney's Nona and things like that, that maybe would have got overlooked in the busyness of the day.
I love that. I love that you remember that question. Yeah. Like it's such an important, because to me, every wedding day, I'm just like showing up. I'm like, there's more people that I don't know. Right. But only through like hearing the answers in those questionnaires do I get to know that. And like, for example, Britney, when you went up to your Nona at the reception, I was like, oh my God, it's happening. Like, let me get a candid of them connecting. And I vividly remember that photo too. So that's awesome. I love that you remember that. And I love that it meant as much to you as I hoped that it would. So that's awesome. And also totally curious, how often do you feel like you've noticed me throughout the day, like taking photos? Was it kind of like, I don't even know how to like, was it like 20% of the time, 50% of the time? Or were you like, where is she? Like, we didn't even notice she was there because we were so present. Like, I'm so curious about that.
Other than like when we did our first look, because that was just us with you. And then those like doc pictures, which were just us with you. Mm-hmm. I feel like for the most part, like I didn't know where you were. I had no idea what pictures to expect. Like when we got the full set of photos back, I was like, oh my God. And like all the angles, like you were on this side and then you were behind us, but it seemed like it was in the same moment.
You Houdini'd the whole night. You're like, so you were there, then you were gone. Anytime we were in a crowd, like with people, the speeches, the vows, like I didn't even notice that you were there.
Yeah. Like probably 20% or less of the time.
Yeah. Only intentional like group photos, which wasn't even you initiating. It was like my mom and her sisters being like, take a picture of us.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But other than that, no.
Yeah.
I love that. Oh my gosh, that's music to my ears. I was like, music to my ears. I don't know why that came out.
And you're Irish now.
Well, actually, so you know how you said I Houdini'd it? I did have a second photographer with me that was under an invisibility cloak.
Yeah. Now I know your secret.
It was the little boy in the bushes with the Spider-Man.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. That makes me so happy because I think a lot of the time as photographers, we are so scared. I hear this all the time, like of being too in the way or too noticed or distracting. Right. And we try our best not to be, but I mean, I don't even know if you know, but I was up close and personal through so many situations. I was pretty much like right there. But yeah, you were just so in the moment that you didn't really even notice, which is like, yes, that makes me so happy. Up next, we have Christina and Ranjeev. They got married on October 20th in 2018 on Cherry Island in the Muskoka Lakes. It's another epic Airbnb cottage that they rented, and it's on an island, so I had to boat in. So yeah, enjoy my chat with them.
So I would say we didn't even notice that you were there. Like throughout the wedding, right? Like I didn't notice you were there, but you, like if I go to the pictures, you captured everything from start to finish. So you were very what's the right word for it?
Invisible.
Invisible. Yeah. Always at the
Which
right
I
place
love.
at the right time, I think.
Yeah. I love that.
I love that part of it. And one of the reasons why we selected you as a photographer and why we keep coming back to you is that you're very good at documenting rather than like taking preset photographs or people posing photographs. I'm not sure if I'm describing it clearly, but I find that to be very good. And you capture the moment. So I went through the pictures. I'm like, oh my God, I felt like I just got married.
That's awesome. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I love hearing that so much. And I love that you said you feel like you're right there in the moment, because I don't even know if you guys are able to tell. I shoot with a lens where I need to be really close to the action to get the photos. So I was there up close and personal the whole day, but I love that you said you didn't even notice that I was there, but I was right there the whole time, which I love so much, because my number one, yeah, because you guys there's just so much going on. You're so present with each other, with your friends and family that, I love that you got to be free and do whatever you wanted to do.
Yeah. I think that's the best part I love too. So I think I was a little bit nervous, to be honest, on that day. First of all, it's the weather, like it was horrible the day before. I was like, oh my God, please, I want a sunny day. It turns out to be a perfect day. So I was very happy in the morning. There's still a lot of logistics, and he was doing all the decorations outside till the moment, probably around noonish time. He can get inside and dress it up. I was like nervous. I said, okay, so how can we do this? And we don't really have a very full agenda, like we didn't do too much prep. But when you show up, I feel like I could see the confidence in you. So I said, okay, maybe I just focus on myself. I don't really need to worry too much. Like used to be like, I heard some friends, they would say, oh, I want this moment, I want that moment. But once I talk to you, I figure, okay, you will do your own thing, right? Like I just need to follow my own schedule, like what I need to do. And the best part is when you send us some like sneak photos, I actually cried because they're so impressive. Like, oh my God, this is out of like my expectation, like it's much beyond my expectation. So that's why I said, oh, this is so impressive. So that's why we keep going back to you. Something I don't really know, like who can capture this moment. So like a best moment and perfect. Both of us look perfect, right? So
maybe another way of describing it is like having you act as a photographer. Like we had one less thing to be worried about. You didn't have to worry about making sure the day was captured properly.
Yeah.
And you did an amazing
job. Oh, thanks for sharing. Oh my gosh, this makes me so happy, because like on the back end, there's so many things that I do strategically throughout my whole process to make sure that this is the experience that you do have. And so to hear that that's how you felt the whole way through, and especially even me showing up confidently, I show up that way to make sure that you don't have to stress about it.
Yeah.
You have so much going on, right? So it's like, okay, she feels confident that she like everything's good. Okay. And then I feel like less stressed. So thank you for sharing that. That's like so insightful. Oh, actually, I have a question. So, and you feel free to be totally open and honest and candid, right? Were there any parts of the day that you felt awkward around the camera or me, or not? Like, doesn't matter either.
I think it's not like a very awkward. It just so what I mean is when I get my dress, everything ready, I want to take some photos, right? And I said, okay, I want to stand in here, and then probably you help me to take photos. But afterwards, I feel like, okay, so it's you have your own like perspective. What is the best photo should be? And after that, I just let you run everything. I don't really, because I'm not a professional photographer. I don't even know what I want in the picture. I just make sure my hair and everything looks good. But that's not really, but from that moment, I know, okay, I just fully trust you. You do your own thing, and I just behave myself. Like, that's it. It's very simple.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I think I remember that moment, and I love that you asked me, because like normally, because my style is so candid, I normally don't really take individual portraits.
Yeah.
But in that moment, you're like, oh, can you take some photos of me here just by myself? And I'm like, yeah, of course. I love that you asked me. So I would love to hear, because you wanted those, right? Do you find value in those photos?
Yeah,
Like,
I found actually not
have those solo portraits.
Yeah, actually, the best photo for myself is the one you took when I take the tequila shot.
Oh,
that's a very random one, but that's my favorite. All my friends said that's the best photo. So I know, okay, in the future, I should not ask you to take photos. I know you know how to take photos. So that's what I learned.
Funny. But see, I think it's important to balance. Like, I think it's so important that if you have the urge to ask me for a photo, like feel free. Like, I want my clients to ask me, right?
Yeah.
But I just love that you just said the tequila one. So I actually vividly remember that photo. And I also was like, yes, she's my like soul sister. Cause I like tequila.
That's the best
one. Attention, fellow wedding photographers and fellow wannabe wedding photographers. Tell me if this sounds like you. You're scared of missing key moments on wedding days. You feel pressured to create photos that are quote unquote Pinterest perfect and Instagram worthy. You're nervous about all the different lighting scenarios that are out of your control and you're not sure how to handle them. You're confused on how to balance creating beautiful imagery while also capturing authentic moments and emotion. And you're worried about being in people's way too often. If you're like, hells yeah, Sara, you read my mind, then I'm here all excited and bushy-tailed. Yes, I had to throw in the squirrel reference to let you know that I've created something for you that will help you become a confident wedding day storyteller in just 2 weeks. It's an online program that I created just for you called Intuitive Storytelling, and it's officially out and ready for enrollment. I want you to take a moment and imagine for a second what life would be like if you knew how to be at the right place at the right time on wedding days so you can catch those key and in between moments. You got emails back from your clients saying, you were the best freaking decision we made for our wedding. You also knew how to confidently create strong storytelling photos that people felt emotionally connected to. And you finally felt like an actual fly on the wall, aka people don't stare into your camera all day anymore. Well, it's all possible because I consistently experience these things myself. And now I want to help you make these possibilities become your reality. Are you all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed right now too? Again, had to throw in the squirrel reference, you know me. So listen up. You can get started on learning all my tips and tricks of how I document wedding days as soon as today. You can go to saramonika.com/storytelling for all the deets and instructions on how to grab your copy of the course. You'll have lifetime access and you can go at it at your own pace, along with a private community of other like-minded photographers that are on the same journey as you are. With intuitive storytelling, you'll be able to learn how to confidently storytell like a pro on wedding days in just 2 weeks. So, what are you waiting for? Uplevel your storytelling game this wedding season so that next year you'll be watching your inbox filling up with even more inquiries. Hello, referrals from this year's clients. So again, head over to saramonika.com/storytelling and sign up now. I cannot wait to see you in there. Next up, it's Jess and Cal in spirit because he wasn't able to make the call, which is totally okay. But they got married June 8th, 2018 at Wapoo's Winery in Prince Edward County. And I find it so funny for all of you Ontarianians. I always write Prince Edward County in short, and it's always Peck, and I always think of pectoral muscles. So they got married at Wapoo's Winery in Peck, and I always just find that funny. And I also think of a bird pecking. I don't know why. Anyway, enjoy.
It was all positive experiences from the get-go. Mm-hmm. It matters, like, I think that photographers should be allowed to say no to clients and clients no to photographers. Like, you have to click, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because otherwise it's not going to be comfortable on the day of. And we knew your photos were beautiful, but to feel comfortable with the person who's taking your photos, it just makes all the difference that day. And then all the question you can send, I'm saying all, like you sent us a million questionnaires, I think there were 3.
Yeah.
But all these questionnaires really helped us plan our day and helped us think about things that we hadn't thought of. Like the first look, I'm not good at surprises. Like I'm so scared of like people seeing my reaction and things like that. So the idea of doing the first look, knowing that it's being captured, my reaction, was so scary. But when you put it into a different perspective, that it's this moment that we get to have together. We have these photos, just the 2 of us, and it's not pulling away from cocktail hour. It's not pulling away from after the ceremony or anything. Like looking back at some of those photos are some of our favorites as well, because we went to the zoo and we were playing with goats and we had a goat almost chase us off because it almost jumped off the tower.
So funny. And it bit your dress. You're just chewing on your dress and you're like, whatever, eat my dress. That was amazing.
I love the goats. So that was something we otherwise wouldn't have considered, because we were like, no, see each other at the altar, and to each his own, right? But for us, it gave us that time to like connect and like ground ourselves before seeing each other at the altar, and like kind of, decompressing everything that was happening. So that was really great. Setting our day up. Even I think our first dance, we had it set up for almost as soon as we entered, and it was going to be daylight with sparklers, which makes no sense, obviously. But we hadn't thought about it. We actually emailed and said, I would suggest if you wanted to use sparklers, to do it between this time and this time based on sunset, so you can capture the right everything with the sparklers and stuff. And so we had sent like revised schedules to like the DJ and to everyone, just to kind of push that a little bit further, which made a huge difference for those photos too. So those were good.
Yeah, I remember that actually, now that you bring it up, because I remember the whole way through, like, I want to make sure that you two are deciding the experience you want. And all I could do is make suggestions, but be like, this is just a suggestion, but like whatever speaks to you. So when I noticed in the questionnaire, you're like, yeah, we're planning on having our first dance at this time. First thing I think of is like, it's going to be really bright. No one's going to see the sparklers. So then I'm like, okay, this is what I would suggest. So you can actually have that ambiance of the spark. But if you have like the flow of the day works better with you doing the first, like, decided what was best for you, and it turned out magical.
Yeah, no, I mean, and you did that with even today. I was like, should I shower? You were like, it's okay, whatever you feel comfortable on camera. Like, you just always want someone to like feel comfortable, like in their decisions and in their shoes, kind of thing.
Yeah. I love that you said that, because that's like kind of my mission, I think, in life in general. I think that everybody is perfect exactly how they are. Makeup, no makeup, like,
yeah,
they're crazy laugh, no crazy laugh, like whatever. So I love that you felt that energy off of me. So it's awesome.
Yeah, for sure. And I was going to say with the questionnaire too, like, everyone has their things in their families. And I think part of your questionnaire was like, are there any, like, I don't remember the exact wording, but any situations you should be aware of prior to arriving. And on my side, having divorced parents and a stepdad, it was so nice to be able to say that beforehand. So you're not feeling any pressure the day of to be like, oh, no, like, they don't need to be in photos together, like giving you that shot list and you know what that dynamic is. I think I even wrote in my questionnaire, like, this is the first time they'll be in the same place. Like, so we'll keep them separate. So it meant a lot it felt like a weight lifted, because I knew you were aware of that in moments.
Yeah.
So that was nice too. And then the other thing that Cal was telling, he was like, don't forget to tell her, like, everything from beginning to end, you're like the gift that keeps on giving.
Oh.
Like, everything you do is so intentional, and it makes you like, I know that photography, like, some people can see it as very expensive for weddings, but like, you're worth every single penny. You're paying for like having these memories like captured for the rest of your life. And you just like make sure that everyone feels that you know that, and that you know the value of all of that from the beginning to the end, because you're getting the whole experience, not just on the day of. Looking back, everyone was like, oh, you didn't get a videographer. And like, sure, if like the sky was the limit and everything, maybe we could have, but just having your photos felt like we had both captured, because every single thing that you capture feels like it's like you're watching a boomerang or like a live photo. It's almost like you can see that memory in every photo. And so it's worth everything to like have all of that. It's like the one thing you get to take away from your wedding that you have forever.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
You don't keep your centerpieces and like the flowers. Sure, you can dry some of them, but like it's not the same as having your photos to look back on. And like if you have kids one day, showing your kids or like sharing with your grandparents. So yeah, it was just the whole thing was worth all of it.
I love that. Like, it's so funny because I always try to tell the story through photos like a movie with like a beginning, middle, end, with like all the details of like how the day smelled, how it looked, like how it felt. And for you to say that you're like, oh, it kind of was like a movie for us. I'm like, oh my gosh, that makes me so happy too.
100%. And it's like this perfect chronological and like nothing is missed. You're like, how did you? And I was like, well, if you could say one thing about your experience. He was like, I don't mean this in like, it's not in a rude way, but it's like she wasn't even there. Like you're so excited to have someone photograph you all day, or at least we were. And we knew you were there. And even when you said earlier, oh, I was waiting for this moment, like in front of, like for the speeches, it's like, I know you were present and there all day, but we don't remember you like in front of us. Like you're never in the way in such a way that you're like, oh, someone's taking your photo now. Okay. Like you're just being genuine all day because you just kind of blend in, but like capture everything in like this beautiful way. So it's, you're bad.
That's awesome. I love that you mentioned that because so many photographers are so scared of being in too many people's ways because we have to move around. We have to get close to situations. And so just hearing you say that will make them feel so much more at ease to just like get in there and confidently like document things. So I think that's so important.
Involved with what's happening. They maybe you just your surroundings to begin with, but it could be very easy for someone to stand out, but you don't at all. Like you have photos captured from like where our moms were standing officiating. And how did she get back there? I don't remember that happening.
I love that. You know what it is? It's because I intuitively move around where it's like, I don't stay in one spot for longer than like that for too long. So it's because I'm constantly moving that it's kind of like, I'm not just standing there because that photo of your mom's officiating, I'm right in front of you and you turn around and you're like crying and like laughing at all the guests and I'm right there. And you're even right now you're saying like, but I didn't even notice you there. It's just like, crazy to me.
Like, I know that you have the option to offer second shooters and stuff, but I'm like, it's like you come with like second and third and fourth shooters with your.
And lastly, but not leastly, I have Lauren and Jordan, but it's just going to be Lauren because Jordan couldn't make the call. And they got married September 21st, 2019, which was the very last day of summer. And you're going to hear how meaningful that was to Lauren. And they got married on a family farm full of animals that I loved so much in Minising, Ontario. I actually don't know if I'm saying that right. Minising, I don't know, but it's kind of up north near Barrie area or Aurora area too. Anyway, enjoy my chat with Lauren.
I feel like that was one of the best things about you is like, we kept being like, she got so many sneaky shots. Where was she? Like, you're like a ninja.
That's always music to my ears. And I find that like, I feel like I've done like calls with clients, about 3 of these calls so far. And it's so funny. I always ask the same question. Did you notice me? Because so many photographers are so terrified of getting up close and personal and like getting in the way and feeling like they're ruining the moment or like, you know, so I'm just keep reiterating this, that like you end up being invisible and it's pretty cool. It's such an interesting phenomenon. Yeah. And also, I think that's pretty much it. Yeah. I love that you appreciate the series of photos that I got. Cause I also was like, okay, I literally like went right behind you, right beside you. We were probably touching shoulders to get the angle of him through the window, through the curtains. So so you can remember how you saw him.
Exactly. And I absolutely love that. But yeah, like this series, like you literally see every emotion from like, shit, there he is to like crying and then hiding. And then the girls were all laughing at me and it was just so good.
Oh my gosh. Oh, the memories. That was so fun.
Brings me right back.
Okay. So one other question that I had for you was throughout the whole experience, even before the wedding, like leading up to the wedding, during and after. Is there anything that comes to mind that you really loved about it? Anything that comes to mind?
Yeah. So I would say like right from the get-go, like I knew I wanted to book with you. I was just like, I love your work. And I love that you said like, where's your wedding? If it's in a church or a banquet hall, like, I'm sorry, I'm not doing that. And I was like, respect. Like she only wants to do what she wants to do. And I love that. So I was like, ooh, this is a vibe right from the get-go. Because I was like, we're outside, like she's going to love it. And like, I want a photographer who's going to love shooting our wedding and not be like, oh, I hate being in this church or whatever, you know? So I'm like, okay, we're vibing right away. And I felt like your energy and like how much you love doing what you do right away. So I'm like, okay, we're good. Like I could tell her nothing and it'll turn out great. So yeah, I just loved, and then even your questionnaire and everything, I love that too. And then, yeah, the day of, you like kicked your shoes off because we were all barefoot and you went with us on that. And yeah, I just loved everything you did. And we really didn't, not that we didn't notice you, but like you really were sneaky.
Yes.
The shots you got, I was just like, what? And like, we're so wrapped up in it, right? And like,
exactly.
We don't get to see everything. So it was like really special for me to get to see like the boys getting ready or like him doing stuff with his guys or just like different aspects of even the reception that maybe I wasn't noticing, but you noticed. So yeah, we loved how sneaky you were for sure.
Oh, I love hearing that you appreciate all of that. And I love even your perspective of like how much you even respected kind of like my boundaries as an artist or where I choose to shoot. And I think a lot of photographers, they feel so guilty in a way, like saying, no, I don't want to shoot here because they feel like they're being a bad person or judging people for that. But what I realized is like, if I'm going to spend May to October shooting a ton of weddings, which I love to do, I want to do it in a place that brings me joy, and that's outside, and that's in a chill vibe environment. And I'm not religious, so I don't want to hang out in a church. And it's not that I'm judging people for it, because I believe anybody's story, as long as it's authentic to them, is so super cool and beautiful. But I don't want to hang out indoors in the summer or in the fall. Like I want to be outside. And that's why I kind of created that boundary. And my work, I think, is just a lot better with like the lenses that I use. I have to be close up, and at a church, you can't really do that. Or a banquet hall, it's such a huge space. I don't have time to like run up to everybody in their moments. Right. So yeah, if you're listening to this and you feel guilty about that, don't feel guilty. Just do what feels really good to you as an artist, as your and your soul. And I love how you even said, Lauren, like you wouldn't want someone photographing your wedding that's not enjoying being there, because then that cuts off our creativity. So it's actually more fair to couples that the photographer enjoys being in that space and getting creative in that space. It's fair for both people. So
100%. Like if, you know, you would have, if you weren't vibing with our farm and stuff, you wouldn't have gone out of your way to take a picture of a chicken. To someone else, that is like so stupid. It could be stupid to someone like, cool, you have a picture of a chicken. For me, I cry because I don't have them anymore, you know? So I'm like, oh, my chickens, I love it. And like, and you know, like the details, like even on social media, you posted the picture of us holding the chicken and someone had nasty comments. And I'm like, who cares? Like whatever makes your day. And like, as a client, I so appreciated you for all that.
That's awesome. And yeah, if I wasn't into farms, I wouldn't have walked around barefoot with you in manure. That was awesome.
Exactly.
Like that was my life, and I loved it.
And like we could feel that you loved it, and like you were taking little Instagram stories, which I have all saved on my phone. So I'm like, these are memories too. You caught us saying stuff, which I loved as well. I'm like, look at her. Like, how is she getting the best photos and these like amazing videos of us? Like, God. But yeah, like I loved it. Like you could just feel how much you enjoyed being with us, and we appreciated that.
Well, you guys made it so much fun and so easy, because I think it all comes down to being such a good fit together.
Yes.
Like, that's what it came down to so much. How amazing was it just hearing from everyone the perspective that they had with me documenting their day? And also, I'm totally curious, like, what takeaways did you have from this episode? I really, really want to know if you had some aha moments that you didn't realize maybe you've realize that you can push some fears aside and really do what you want on wedding days and do what you feel like will be the best experience for them that you're maybe holding back. So please reach out to me, DM me on Instagram at Sara Monika Photo, Sara no H, Monika with a K. Let me know your aha moment. I would love to chat with you and celebrate that you had that. And that's pretty much it. And don't forget, the intuitive storytelling course comes out in the first week of August 2021. There will be a special early bird price the first week it's out only. So if you don't want to miss that, then get on the wait list. Go to saramonika.com/storytelling. Remember, I've packed up everything I know from my 10 years experience of being a wedding photographer, so you can get the fast track to storytelling like a pro. I cannot wait for you to be able to virtually shadow me on a wedding day in there and learn all of my tips and tricks. So again, head over to saramonika.com/storytelling to get in on this opportunity. I'll see you in there. Yay! Thank you so much for hanging out with me and tuning into this episode. If you got value out of it, please feel free to message me on Instagram at Sara Monika Photo. That's Sara no H, Monika with a K photo, to let me know. I get so freaking energized hearing from others that what I've said has had a positive impact on their lives. Also, make sure to hit subscribe to the Shine and Thrive podcast to never miss an episode. I'm so grateful for you, and I'm sending you all the productive vibes your way so you have the best week ever.